Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Minister of Social Solidarity, Dr. Nivina Qabash, announced the first phase of the initiative Titlafif Harir, or Golden Hands, if we may say, which supports the products of the Egyptian material loom, or its name in Arabic, or in Egyptian Arabic, Nool. This comes after the launch of Barra Aman initiative that supports fishermen, and as part of the state's efforts to back irregular employment in cooperation with the Long Live Egypt Fund. Actually, Dr. Nivina Qabash explained that it is planned to distribute 1,000 looms and production materials through the handmade carpets, rugs, and gobelin factories, which will achieve economic support and empowerment for around 1,000 families and more than 3,000 beneficiaries, as each loom serves around 3 individuals, if we may say. In order to shed more light on this very important initiative, we're very much delighted and honored to have with us His Excellency Ambassador Ayoub Mahmoud Ayoub, former Minister of Commercial. Good morning to you, Mr. Ambassador. Always a pleasure to have you with us.
Good morning to you and to the fishermen.
Thank you. Well, actually, it's not only about the fishermen. It's an expanded initiative that includes all the irregular employment. So if we talk about the initiative, Titlafif Harir, about the Nool or the loom
This
industry.
is a down-to-earth project. Why? Because it touches the livelihood of many families in the countryside who are in much need to the tools of production. In many cases, we find that workers or professionals in this field want just the very small capital in the form of the hand looms, as we call Nool, hand looms, to enable them produce things which I know from my experience as commercial attaché or commercial minister, have been has a good place in all our exhibitions abroad. That is to say, what is being done today will also reflect on our exports. This is from export point of view. Let us, on the local point of view. What is happening now is that we are enabling the small families, the small producers, production units, to find a place in the market. We are always market oriented. Why? Because whatever touches the livelihood of the people will reflect on their level or standard of living, will reflect on their income, will reflect on their livelihood. When we are giving them the loom itself, and also in this case by Ministry of Solidarity, Social Solidarity, the tools, the materials, the raw materials. So we are giving them the tools to be productive, to be of some use to themselves and to the economy as a whole. An important part which we should be covered in all cases is marketing of production. It is not enough from my point of view as an economist.
Is it part of the initiative, Mr. Ambassador, or the economic target? Is it part of the initiative, or the initiative targets just helping those people and boosting?
Targets helping them by giving them the loom, hand loom, and the material. Another component which should be highlighted in this respect by the ministry, and I think they will not forget it and they are quite aware of it, is marketing the production. Because we are paying about these millions of Egyptian pounds to these small families. After that, where will the money go? Of course, it should be come back, if not to the ministry, then to the families.
Yes.
So marketing is very important in this respect, and I think that the ministry has a place for marketing the production as far as I know, because they never do a job without completing it with marketing. This is one thing. Other thing is, when we are giving a small capital, when I say small capital, it means it is material capital in the form of the loom, the hand looms, and also in the form of the material, raw materials. So we are enabling them to be productive for themselves. A good part of the process which you have seen is that the ministry is also giving training to them, and training to the women who are involved. When I say the women, because in most cases, may we find most of the families or many of the families in the countryside, the mainstay or the backbone of the family is the woman, is the
Yes.
mother.
Yeah.
She is minister of finance, if we can say that, or minister of production, or minister of industry in the family. So we are giving the family through the, whether it's a single mother or just a mother, tools to be able to generate income in an honorable and an honorable way for the family and for her children, for her kids. The most important point is that we are giving them education, training, tools, materials, and helping them in putting it in the market. We have seen now
Now, this is very important, Mr. Ambassador, because the training should not only involve how to use the raw material, because I think they already know that. But
they know, in most of the cases, they know that.
Yeah,
they know it, yes.
most of the cases they know that, and they inherit it from their families.
From the families, yes.
But the training, I think it should focus more on how to start a business, how to study the market, how to price their products.
This is a very important point. How to start a business, how to run it, and how to ensure its success.
How to sustain it.
Yes, and sustain it for a long time. Another part which is very important now, when I said training, I meant training means now we are using modern techniques in production. Although it all depends on the talents of the person, but still we need to use the new, I say, tools of production which enable them to give a production which is needed by the market and of high quality, and also the personal touch or the talent of the woman. Most of them are women. I have seen them in Fayoum and in Sohag. In most coastal, I say 90% of the loom industry in these places, whether for the rugs, for the carpets, and for the gobelin, are women in the countryside who are doing a wonderful job, which has been, I have bought several times. I have been in Fayoum, bought it, and now it is in America. Their products are in America. This means that what is being created today will be increasing with time, so that every family will be stabilized in its place. They will not immigrate to
Other cities.
to Cairo or to other cities. This is very important. So we are stabilizing them in their places. Second, we are generating income for them. Third, we are giving them hope of better tomorrow for themselves and for their kids. When the family has a source of income, an honorable source for income for the women, especially for the women, it means that they are confident, they trust the government and what the government is doing with them. Millions of pounds are paid now to them, and this in the long range help the family to raise the standard of living of the family. And also in many cases we have seen it, it is a part of our exports, non-traditional exports in our exhibitions which we hold in many countries, whether in Africa and especially in Europe and Asia. They like very much to see the handicrafts which are produced by the Egyptian women and men, whether rugs or carpets or gobelin.
Sir, do you think that there is another economic aspect in this initiative, which is focusing on the handmade crafts and making it famous, so that people from all around the world would come, especially to these towns or cities or even villages, just to purchase the handmade products that it is famous for? Because we have seen that, for example, in Iran, they have a very famous city, Qom, I think.
Qom, yes.
Qom, and it's very famous for carpets. People from around the world, they go to just to purchase the valuable carpets and rugs of Qom, because it's handmade and it's famous for its special designs and so on. Do you think that such initiative would mark the cornerstone or the beginning of making Fayoum on the touristic map, not just as a beautiful place to visit or to have therapy and so on, but also to purchase its handmade products, whether pottery or
this
carpets?
brings us to branding.
Yes.
What we are asking for and interested in is branding of our products. When I say this rug or carpet is produced in Siwa, I have seen it in Siwa, by the way.
Me too.
I was very pleased to see it in Siwa. That
At very reasonable prices, by the way.
at a very, I will not
The
say
problem
cheap,
for me
but very
was to
reasonable
carry
price.
all these
Yes.
heavy carpets because
Most of the customers,
really
as you
beautiful.
rightly mentioned now, are foreigners or tourists who are coming to Siwa for the salt lakes in Siwa. They go to this
to the market to
to the
purchase the carpets.
No,
Yeah.
sometimes they don't go to the market, but rather go to the mashghal or
The workshop, yes.
the workshop where it is produced.
Yes.
And they want this design. They give them the design, or they want traditional Bedouin design, and they buy it in big quantities. When I have seen it, that this means that we are creating a brand for Siwa or Fayoum or Sohag or whatever, or Bahira or even Al Arish in the foreign markets. This is very important for us in the long run. Why? Because in many cases, when they take these rugs to their families and show it to their friends, they ask them, where did you buy it from them? That is why when we visited these small factories, if we can say that, we ask them, please put your name, your email, and your telephone and your address in a very small, and put it on the rug, at the back of the rug, so that any person who wants to contact you later on, he will just find it
Yes.
on the carpet itself.
Yes.
So it pays. This is one way. Other, which is very important, also in our exhibitions overseas, we have many exhibitions overseas which we hold, the latest in Dubai, and it is a very successful one, by the way, which we have done now in Dubai. Let us have a special corner for the handicrafts and handmade carpets of Siwa and of Fayoum and other places, because this creates not only brand but also attraction for those who come to see things which are unique, which are exquisite, which are particular for Egypt, with this name, with this product, and with this design, which sometimes design is very primitive, and but still they like it. They do not want something very sophisticated, because they have the sophisticated. So when I speak, the Japanese coming to Dubai, when they are go to Egyptian pavilion in Dubai 2022 now, when they see the products, whether handicrafts or other, say, agriculture or industrial products, they admire it, and they order it in quantities. In many cases, in the first place, they take a sample, buy a sample, and take it back to Japan or to South Korea, and see how is it made, and make an order according to what they see. Sometimes they change the specifications. They, please make it of this quality or of this material. So we also, branding also means that we can also produce these handicrafts as to the requirements of the customer. We are always looking to the customer,
So
or to the
it could
market.
be customized, or it could be according to the design of the artist himself.
Yes,
or
in most cases it is the design of the artist. In most cases,
and that's what people like.
And this is what they like,
Yeah.
because they want to see how these talents, they are talented women. I have seen it in Siwa, especially in Siwa. I hope it will spread also in New Valley. I have not been to the New Valley, but I hear that they are also producing rugs and the carpets in the New Valley, because they have the raw material, and now the government or the Ministry of Social Solidarity is supplying them with modern looms. When I say looms, I say modern looms, which saves energy, which is very important,
Time.
and it can be hand operated, and at the same time it saves time, and also it is economizes as far as production is concerned. So all these components, when they put it together, this brings to me a product which is a well branded product, which can be sold in the market, not only in Egypt but also overseas. This is one thing. Other thing which is very important for us, the citizens, all the citizens should encourage the handicrafts which we see. Why? Instead of the buying mechanic carpets, it is good, okay, mechanic carpet, but sometimes we need something which is personalized, was branded from Siwa.
Usually, the designs are inspired by the surrounding environment, and that's what makes them very special.
It makes it very special, and I will say that it a little bit raises its price. In all the cases, it is handmade, so the price is a little bit higher, and is preferred by many of those who have a good sense of culture and art and all this thing.
Heritage.
They like this heritage because sometimes they see a camel on it, for example, or some goats, or some sheep, or whatever animals are there in this place, and they are put in a carpet or on a rug, and put in a very artistic way, and see the person who created it, I will say created it, not only have manufactured it, has a talent which has a price. The talent has a price which can be expressed in money.
Yes.
So what the Ministry of Social Solidarity is doing now is creating a new source of income, not only employment, but also a new source of income for the less privileged families in the countryside, and something which is highly appreciated, and we hope that they continue. And also it should have also always a location, a good location, and a good place in all our exhibitions overseas, starting from Dubai, which is one of the most successful exhibitions which you are having now.
Yes. Since we are talking about Fayoum, and Fayoum is also famous for pottery and ceramics, do you think that the initiative could actually later include other handmade products like clothes, pottery, ceramics?
In Fayoum, they are talented. I don't know why, but
they have Tunis village famous for...
In Tunis village, example.
Yes.
I have bought coverings for the tables, or covering for the chairs or seats from Fayoum, and it is now in America, and they admire it very much. Mr. Ayoub, can we buy more from it? They can produce many things, and the Ministry of Social Solidarity should be helping them from technical point of view to diversify their products, not only the carpets, not only the rugs, but also new products which should be included in their production, so that to satisfy more than one need by the customers, because the customers, they don't want, maybe they will be involved in the shoes, for example, in the sacks, in the bags for women, and in the cloth. All these things will be reflected in the market, and will be translated in money terms as far as the income of the family is concerned. And this is what the Ministry of Social Solidarity is doing, that they are trying to raise the income of these families to enable them to live on their own sources, not being always in need to the government help. So they are giving them the tools. Now they are giving them tools, and it is up to the family to properly use the tools, and every now and then they are helped by the ministry. And I think that the Ministry of Trade and Industry should be involved in this process, in promoting and in marketing it, not only locally but also in the overseas markets. This is very important, because marketing is very important for any production. It should go to the end user, but how it will go? By marketing.
Yes. Unfortunately, we have seen over the time that many handmade products have died out due to the introduction of machines, due to the difficulties or the challenges that the craftsmen face, because they spend so much time and effort just to make one piece, and then it's very difficult for them. So many handmade products have died out over the years. Do you think now this initiative gives hope that it will make all the handmade products, especially related to heritage, survive for more years to come?
This is a very important point. Why? Because when we go to Khan el-Khalili, for example, we find that a good part or the good percentage of the products are imported, although with pharaonic designs. This means that my local producers, they have diminished the talents which are there are not anymore. What the Ministry of Social Solidarity is creating, I say creating today, is giving renaissance, if we can say that, giving new breathing space for these industries to come back and giving them training, giving them the tools, and also helping them with sometimes in design. In Al-Fustat, there is a special corner in Al-Fustat which I have seen, which for the handicrafts, they are helping them for whether for not only for the carpets but also for wood products. For wood products, how the talented persons are working there in Al-Fustat small factories there. Small things which are used, which can easily be produced, and also, but it needs talent. And more equally important with the talent is the tools. They have the tools. So what the ministry is doing now is trying to recreate the traditional industries which we had in the countryside, and helping it with the tools, with the materials, and also training. And sometimes they give them design and they give them lectures about how to better use the pharaonic heritage, for example, in putting it in rugs or in carpets, or even in leather for sex for women, or bags for women. Many areas we can use the local talents to create a new demand and new source of income for the small families which are in the country, whether in Ayoub or Alexandria or Bahira or other places like Sohag, which I have seen also.
Yes. What about the Fishermen's Initiative, Mr. Ambassador? How do you see its importance? The Fishermen's Initiative.
This is a very big, a very important. Why? Because we in Al-Ahrar village in Al-Bahira, near Alexandria, we have created, the houses were at that time without ceiling. So we give them a ceiling, and in most of the families, they were fishermen, but they did not have the boats and the tools to, the nets to catch fish. They are unable to buy it. So that is why they are unable to survive. So in Al-Ahrar village and in other places, and in other places, the fishermen were helped by giving them the boats, the nets, and other tools which enable them to come back to the market. For me, when I always say the market, because market is all what we are living in.
Yes.
We are living in a market.
It's the whole target.
It is our target. This means that you are giving them a source of income, and also helping the end user or consumer, the local consumer in this case, that the price of fish will a little bit come down.
Yes.
So we are helping both parties by giving them this very, very small investment in the boats and in the nets and the other tools, helping both the consumer, the end user, that is to say, and the fishermen, which you have seen it last year or early this year for the fishermen, and one of it in Al-Ahrar village, which you have seen it in near Alexandria. They give them the tools, and they are now independent. They don't need help. They are independent. That is to say, they are able to send their children to the school. They are able for good medication for their children and for the new generation. So, but the fishermen, which you rightly mentioned now, and now for the rugs and the claims and the carpets, we are creating a new source of income for the small families or the needy families who were at a certain stage in the 2010, They were in despair because the source of income is not there anymore.
Yes,
So now,
definitely.
so we are creating a new life to these people by giving them a very small investment in the tools like the boats and the looms, which you are giving them, which something should be helped also by the NGOs. Why? The NGOs should also lend a hand by giving these people a breathing space by at least, if they can give them the tools, they can also market their products and put it in the market for them.
Yes. Ambassador Ayoub, Mahmoud Ayoub, former Minister Commercial, thank you very much. Always a pleasure to have you with us, and thank you for shedding light on this very important initiative.
Thank you, and thank to the new producers.
Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, a short break and we'll be right back.